Hello everybody, I'm Sal CAPANO, and it's a late Tuesday night in the West Coast, even later in the East Coast. But I was going to wait till tomorrow, but I got some real good news. Now, the number one question I'm getting from a lot of you on here, on this great channel, is, Sal, do you think we will see a stimulus check? The next question was about PUA and unemployment. Will it come back? Will it be retro pay? Will they have a fund? But I'm going to dive right into that. Now, a lot of you, if you're new to my channel, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada for 22 years. I really care about everybody. I was one of the few to fight for PUA, get it implemented. And I'm also fighting for, these people, these representatives that live in Nevada and senators. And believe me, they are with us. It's a very complicated situation. I'm going to dive into it. I will tell you this. Money needs to be exchanged. And I will tell you this. You know this yourself. People are not spending money as fast right now. So it's a big dilemma. Money needs to be exchanged. So the number one thing that they're discussing right now in Congress is this. Number one thing that I believe it's going to pass is the child tax credit. Now, let me make it clear. Child tax credit is on the number one agenda. If they give it out on a monthly payment opposed to giving it at the end of the year, people and family and kids can have money on a monthly basic and then versus at the end of the year. But here's some good news. What they also working on for people who don't have kids or kids like me who are all grown up. What about people who have kids or are growing up? They're working on a huge tax credit. Now, where they haven't decided, will it be a monthly like the child tax credit, or just give out one big tax credit at the end of the year? So when you file your taxes, it'll be a big tax credit. That's where they're trying to decide on the number two. So again, I'm going to repeat it for people who don't have kids or kids are growing up, a big tax credit. How much is big? We don't know. So instead of sending out a stimulus check, maybe it'll be on a monthly like the child tax credit, or it just might be when you file your taxes. So we'll have to see on how that works out. Now, Manchin is really doing a lot of talking. Let me read something here. Senator Joe Manchin wants people first. He wants a bill. This is from Senator Joe Manchin, which a lot of people think he might be running this nation. Leave in the comments below. But he says, listen, I want people first, but it's a very complicated situation because of inflation. Now, I'm going to read. These are facts. Democrats are 81% of them are worried about more inflation. That's the Democrats. 91% of Republicans are worried about inflation. Well, I'm worried about inflation. Most of you guys are worried about inflation. So it's very complicated. Now, I've said this before. If you're new to my channel, there's a lot of money that's left over, $700 billion that's left over. I continue to say, like a broken record, from the Trump administration, CARES Act 2, and the Biden administration, American Rescue Plan. Now, they can use that, and if they wanted to, get these stimulus checks out. Now, they are talking about something like that or using it for child tax credit. But they're still going to need more money, and that can cause an inflation. So they need to get their heads together in the White House and really work on something very quickly, because it's a very sad situation. I do believe, let me look in the camera on this channel and smile, we will receive something. But not because of the virus. Even though the virus is out there, but not because of that, because of what I just said, the inflation. People are still not back to work, and these other situations. So I do believe it's going to happen, but not because of the virus. Now, speaking of the virus, the numbers are down, but what they want to do now, I'm not saying this, I'm just reporting the news and the people that I got to speak to today. Now, stay with me. Don't go anywhere. The White House wants people back to work. Well, yes, Sal, we want to go back too. But how to do that, and this is from the Democrats, dropping the mandates. All of a sudden, they went dropping some of these mandates in the states and the face mask and everything else. I know I'm down the middle. Some people want, if they do that, then they can get people back into the work field. So they want that. That's on their agenda. Again, I'm going to repeat it. Number one on their agenda is the child tax credit on a monthly. So people don't have to wait the end of the year, so people can start feeding their families. Now, I mean, wouldn't it be nice to just have a huge tax credit on a monthly? What I'd like to hear from you is, would you rather have it right now on, I'm talking about the adult credit and child tax credit, or do you rather wait till the end of the year? I mean, for me, I would think most of you would agree is we need it right now. For an example, I'm just throwing a number out. I'm not saying this is the number. Maybe $300 a month for a spouse, $300, $600, a month per husband and wife, partners, whatever it might be there. That might be a good way to get people back on track. This is serious. There's 68% of the population who make under $60,000 are behind a month and a half on their mortgage and rent and their power bill, and we can go on and on. So it's hard, and I know people are going to comment, and I like it, and I hear you. Well, you got to be careful with inflation. We're already, highest inflation in 40 years. I don't have all the answers. I'm just sitting here. I'm a YouTube guy. I try to get the facts. I try to look at the big picture and everything. Yes, we have our children, our grandkids, and we can't keep printing out money. But again, unfortunately, it was a very, very bad pandemic. I personally think they need to start using emergency funding. There's emergency funding that they have left that wouldn't cause inflation. I would say go ahead and throw a $1,400 check, even if they had to lower it down to under $50,000, $60,000. I know a lot of you is probably hearing the cutoff, but I don't know. Get that out first, and then get the child tax credit maybe included on that for a few months, and then work out how do you do this. It's a very tough situation. It's tough for President Biden. It would be tough for any president right now. I'm trying to be right down the middle on this. So leave me your thoughts and your comments. Now, before I go, the number two things that the problem with this inflation is the gas and food, groceries. I say continuously on this video, the same bag that you had even a year ago, 3 bags you walked out with, you're probably walking out with 1 bag, maybe a bag and a half. Is that probably right? If you own a house, taxes are going up. I know rent here in Las Vegas is going up. California, it's making it difficult for people. So maybe they're right to, get some of these mandates, restriction down. I don't have all the answers. I do know I'm very optimistic. I'm staying positive. I do know I'm really confident that this virus is at the tail end. Now, I think it's going to probably be like a common cold. Not to worry anybody. That's what happens with these. It might be around for a couple of years. Everybody will just get this variant of a cold. Some might get a little serious. But we got to work through this, right? We got to get through this. People still need help. Again, I argue with even family members and friends. We can't keep spending. I get it. But something has to be done. People can't be on the streets. The landlords, it's tough for the landlords. It's tough for people who are renting. It's tough for all of us, right? We're all in this together. And I will continue to do what I can do on this channel. I'm continuing looking for a sponsorship and help and give out a little money. I know I will be giving out $50 maybe in a week or two, some coffee just to help you out, put a little smile on your face. So continue to like and comment, and I will pick somebody out on that. I know it's late, but I had to come out and give you the facts, okay? And this is what I'm hearing from these representatives and a senator that I got to know without mentioning any names anymore. So these are big numbers on how 91% Republicans, again, and 81% Democrats don't want more inflation. I mean, we all agree. But at the same time, so use some of that emergency funding, right? Come up with a couple more $1 billion. I did the math. They can probably work it out with $8 billion more, and everybody can get a stimulus check. Maybe they need to lower it down. We'll have to see how it formats. But again, just to recap, child tax credit is now on top of the list, and Joe Manchin kind of agreed with it, as long as people are attempting to work or working. And then adult credit, sort of. So stay tuned to future videos. I might be in a meeting tomorrow. Again, continue discussing these things. It's nice that they like to hear my input. And then on PUA and unemployment, hopefully they'll have some kind of fund. There was somebody on subscriber on here who said, yeah, they should. I agree. Just have a fund for self-employed people in case, in event they do get sick and they're out with this this virus for a multiple period of time, they can at least give it to them for a few weeks. As far as the retro pay and all that, I got to be honest with you at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. Remember, with AOC. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It is late, but I was anxious to come out and do this video. Remember, say hello to somebody. Tomorrow's another day, and there's always a solution on this channel. There really is. I continue to fight for everybody. Ciao.